Okay.
Can we auto-tune that and make that the theme song?
That sounded fake. Was that a real sneeze?
No, that was actually a real sneeze.
Fake sneeze.
None of it. You're not fooling anybody.
I got the yep out real quick before the chew part. That one was fake.
Okay.
Spoilers. Yeah, I think I might have caught a little bit of the plague from bad weather for sitting out in it for 6 hours yesterday.
Well,
at least it's only a little bit of the plague.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
What's
Although with the plague, it's an all or nothing proposition, right? You can't catch it's like, oh, like I got a little raped. Like,
what?
It's all or nothing.
Kevin Spacey raped me only a little bit.
Oh my God! Here we go.
Yep, I am no longer allowed to like Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, let's just go
House
right
of Cards is no longer on my watch list for Netflix.
Well,
you know what? I never started.
It's not going to be on anybody's watch list much longer, right?
Yeah, but he's going to be on a watch list
for
sex offenders.
But it's okay because he said in his interview that he was gay.
Oh, well, that makes it okay.
If he was gay, that'd be okay, except you see, he rapes kids anyway.
Oh, God.
I think it's time we do the
breaking sports news.
Yeah, we do. Jimmy Garoppolo has officially been traded to the 49ers. Can we do a reverse Rich hotline here and attempt to pull in Scott Pilecki for some like breaking news?
Do you want to try it?
I do want to try it. Let's do it.
Let's get his opinion.
Here we go. Reverse Rich hotline. Let's see if
has he been on this before?
Yeah, he has. Yeah. He hates us for it.
Okay. Welcome back, we have to say.
Hey, Scott. You're on the reverse Rich hotline on the next episode of I'd Rather Be Rich. We're calling you, our NFL insider, to talk about the Jimmy Garoppolo trade.
You're our first repeat guest.
Podcast.
So,
hi, Alec.
Hi, Scott.
Couldn't recognize your laugh.
Watch the language. There could be children listening.
Yeah, watch your fucking language.
Yeah. So you are our inside NFL source, breaking our first live breaking news on the podcast. Can you give us your thoughts on the Garoppolo trade?
Draft picks, man, they're hard to come by.
That's not the only thing that's hard to come by. So is a good quarterback.
And if you're a 49ers fan, a win.
But yeah, seriously though, that's like crazy. That is the last thing I expected to see traded this season before the deadline. So
the day before the deadline.
Do you think Brady is going to play until he's 50?
Thing is, you ask me because that organization's a dumpster fire.
What, the Niners?
But yeah, no, they've had 3 seasons where they started either 1-7 or 0-8. So I mean, Cleveland, another good example of that, I guess. But
yeah, I agree.
But I don't know. I think it'll be decent, but I think teams spend too much for players from New England specifically. I think the Colts going for Jacoby Brissett, kind of a joke.
Yeah, that straight up 1-for-1 trade too. Yeah, New England, I don't know how Belichick does it, but he's a wizard.
No, I mean, it's just, I don't even think it has to be a wizard. He just has this reputation in the league, so people just automatically assume that their guys know what they're doing, and they're forgetting about the fundamentals of a system and things like that. So
yeah, that's a great point. Okay, well, we'll keep it quick. So we will see you soon. Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah. No, you guys will see me on Day of Bird.
Awesome.
You guys should talk about the Turkey Bowl on your podcast. I actually meant to text you guys all that. We need to have the Turkey Bowl. So,
yeah, we'll talk about it right after you're done here.
Talk about the competitive Turkey Bowl podcast.
We're going to live podcast the Turkey Bowl.
Yeah, we're going to do a simulcast, a live stream.
That would be pretty
Nate
sweet.
can do commentary. He'll do video. You can get Barack to do video.
Yeah.
We'll do our first
we
sportscast.
get like a Snapchat feed or something. It'll be great.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Scott. Well, we'll see you soon. I'll be counting the seconds.
Yeah.
Wait, Scott.
Okay. Oh, hold on. Nate has a question.
One last question, bud. Okay.
Right,
what are you dressing up for Halloween? What are you
tomorrow?
Yeah.
I'm going to dress up as a college admissions rep for Maria College and go to some high schools.
Wow, that's really specific.
That sounds really lame. Who would want to be that?
It's very specific. Yeah, exactly. That's why it's a great costume.
You could be that, but I'd rather be rich.
Oh.
Okay,
all right, Scott, I'm going to let you go now. Get out of here, man. Have a good night.
Right.
See you, Scott.
We'll see you next week.
Damn it. Slutty ghost. That's the answer.
We'll see you next week, Scott.
Bye, Scott. Okay, you heard it here first. Scott is going to be a slutty ghost for Halloween.
I hope that's the one where you just throw the bed sheet over you and then you put on like a very sexy lingerie over the bed sheet.
Yeah, that's how it's done.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Sure.
It's a full sheet, just with a crotch hole.
Yeah. That's
Well,
my
here's
problem.
the other shoe drop. 49ers just released Brian Hoyer.
Okay.
So there we go.
So
Jimmy
he's
Garoppolo
Hoyer's probably going to go to Miami.
I'd imagine so.
I'd imagine so.
Yeah. Taking his talents to South Beach.
Taking it to South Beach, taking it to South Beach, taking it to... All right.
I'd rather be rich. I like it.
So MLS playoffs are starting back on the 25th in the wild card round. The New York Red Bulls defeated the Chicago Fire 4-0 and will now play the Toronto FC in the conference semifinals in a home-and-home. And then the other Eastern Conference match was Atlanta United in their inaugural season, falling to the Columbus Crew 3-1 on penalties, and will face New York City FC in the conference semifinals.
Is that a home and home?
That is also a home.
So, hold on. Is that a 2-game conference final?
Yeah.
How does it work for best of 2? Is it goal differential if...
Yeah, it's aggregate goal
aggregate
differential.
score.
And if they're tied, away goal wins. That's the tiebreaker, away goals.
Okay, never knew that.
Yeah.
That's different.
Okay, and that in the Western Conference...
What if it's 0-0 through both games? Does it go to penalties?
Then it'll go to extra time in the second leg, and then it'll go to penalties.
Okay, so there's no draws.
No.
Gotcha.
Well, there's draws in the first leg,
Oh,
in the first home game. And then if that'll end, like, last night, Vancouver, like, in the Western Conference, Vancouver Whitecaps demolished the San Jose Earthquake 5-0. And Houston Dynamo beat the Sporting Kansas City 1-0 in extra time to play the Portland Timbers. Vancouver will play the Seattle Sounders. Vancouver played Seattle last night, and it was 0-0 it was 0-0 in Vancouver, so now when it plays the next game, it'll be in Seattle, and if that still is 0-0, then it'll go to extra time and then penalties. And then, on another note, this could be there could only be one more season of the Columbus Crew, as they are reportedly moving to Austin City.
don't mess with Texas.
Don't mess with Texas.
So that's disappointing, because they're an inaugural team.
Oh well. Make your sport better, and then you won't lose inaugural teams.
Ooh, got him.
I mean, it's better. I don't know why.
Apparently not better enough in Columbus.
They have a decent fan base in Columbus.
Apparently not decent enough.
I guess not. I know you're trying to be antagonistic, but...
Matt, antagonistic never.
Why would I do that?
That's all I have for sports. I don't really care.
Do we want to hit the Bills real quick?
Let's hit the Bills real quick.
All right. Let's keep it quick.
As I've been saying all season, I will be skeptical and a non-believer of them making the playoffs until they are actually in the playoffs.
Until they are locked in.
Yep.
Fair enough. I do think, though, I will feel much better about them if they come on this short week and they beat a team they're supposed to on the road in primetime.
If we don't beat the Jets, I will not think we're a good team. Good teams beat
Agreed.
the teams that they should be able to beat, and the Jets are not good. We have more talent than the Jets at probably every position except maybe defensive line now with the loss of Darius. Mm-hmm. But I think we're better at receiver than the Jets
I agree.
with our lack of depth. But
I was going to say, you know what really bugs me about this Garoppolo news is that now the Jets, and I was going to come into today's podcast and say, I think the Jets have had one of the worst NFL seasons this year. They've been scrappy enough to hang on, and that's going to cost them a QB. Well, now a team that I thought was immediately going to take a QB in this year's draft just traded a second for Jimmy Garoppolo. So
if they're smart, they'll still take one.
I know, but it's just kind of like, well.
Yep. But yeah, Bills looked good yesterday. Sitting in the rain was miserable, but worth
Glad
it because
I
it was an
didn't go.
awesome game.
Great to watch.
The
Not to
running
be
game
there.
is back. It's 2 weeks in a row with a running game being good.
Yeah.
And if you look at who else was back the last 2 weeks, Cordy Glenn,
Yeah.
having your actual franchise starting left tackle instead of, don't get me wrong, Dawkins has been solid, but instead of the rookie,
please, for all the love of God. By the way, the trade deadline is also tomorrow. Please don't trade Cordy Glenn. Thank you. That's all I wanted to say.
Was there a rumor?
Trade Bolden, get a draft pick.
Yeah, that's been
There's
the
been
rumor.
rumors linking Glenn to Seattle because they want offensive line.
Well, Glenn already, or Seattle already got offensive line help.
Did they?
Yep, they traded for, who's the Texans guy? Dwayne Brown?
Yeah, did they trade Graham or no?
Nope. They traded Lane, their cornerback Lane, a 5th-round pick this year and a 2nd-round pick the next year. So the only one that's linking us now to trades is the Eagles.
Yeah, if we're going to trade a tackle, let it be Jordan Mills.
And let it not be to the Eagles, who took our last left
tackle. Or let it be
tackle.
Chantrell.
Yeah, I'd be okay with Chantrell.
I would trade Chantrell to the Eagles for, I don't know, Wendell Smallwood or
Apparently
something.
the Eagles are also inquiring about...
Calvin Johnson's rights.
Calvin
It's
Johnson.
been them in Jacksonville.
Jacksonville? I only heard the line.
I think if Calvin Johnson signs with the Eagles, I think they're a Super Bowl favorite.
It would help.
I don't think he's going to sign.
I don't either. He'll stay retired.
Yep.
And I still think Bolden is going to stay retired too. We'd be smart to give up his rights for a pick, but
if anyone is calling for it.
But who would it be? He wants to play at home, and he lives in Florida, right? So it'd have to be like Jacksonville or Tampa Bay.
Send him down. Whatever. But yeah, football was fun this week. Fantasy football still sucks.
Amen to that.
Next topic.
Sorry, Rich.
Okay. So, in an interview at IGN, the New Mutants director Josh Boone offered up some new details about his X-Men spin-off, The New Mutants, the new horror movie that just released a trailer. And supposedly he has plans now to make it a trilogy.
Okay, so let me see. New Mutants. This first one is the Demon Bear storyline. Your next movie, which there's no way that you're going to skip, is sending Ilyana Rasputin to hell. Because that's a big part. I don't know what your third one is. But I can tell you, either the second or the third one will absolutely be the Ilyana Rasputin goes to hell and turns into a demon.
I like the fact that they're already saying it's a trilogy, because the trailer looked really cool.
Well, we'll see what happens. I'm not convinced yet that the horror movies, but I mean, if they were going to do one,
but it's not going to be jump scare horror. It's going to be psychological.
Well, if there was some going to be luck, the thing is, I'm not sure how they're going to tie in these X-Men characters into the horror. Because they do their own adventures as well as action stuff. So I'm really interested to see how they tie all that in together.
I like the concept. I
like that they have a plan.
It seems like a natural progression from there's just so many superhero movies, and we're kind of in the age of superhero movies, if there's one thing. And now it's just blending them with other genres. You see that in all art. Once the market becomes so saturated, you just need to make different hybrids.
Yeah.
That's how you just keep pushing it forward.
Wow, that was really deep, man. It touched my soul.
All right, Alec.
Next, we're going to have a superhero rom-com.
Yeah.
Which could be Gambit. Gambit.
They had... Do you remember my superhero ex-girl... My super ex-girlfriend?
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Was that movie any good?
No.
Okay.
So, Variety is reporting that Netflix has a plan for its original programming of films, and it's a very high one. They're reporting that they're going to release 80 original films next year alone.
And they're all Death Note sequels. Every single one of them.
This is according to Chief Content Officer
Chief Keef.
Ted Sardanos.
Chief Queef.
The films on the docket will range anywhere from $1 million Sundance hits all the way to much bigger titles like Will Smith's starring Bright, directed by David Ayer. And supposedly they are going to spend around $8 billion on original content next year, along with introducing 30 original animes.
I think it would have been a little nicer if they spent $6.9 billion on original content.
That's all well and good, but if we know anything from
Death Note,
major Hollywood studios, is that budget does not always equal quality.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting that
they're not known for quality.
Well, it's interesting that the fact that they don't seem to care about the fact that they're gonna spend $8 billion.
Well, aren't they
they're making
some?
it
Aren't they a dumb amount of money?
They're $20 billion in debt supposedly, but
what's another $8 billion?
Exactly. I mean, but they honestly are the king of streaming.
I mean, hey,
we're gonna have another big bank bailout, except it's gonna be Netflix instead.
I think Netflix. I mean, have they ever been successful in movies? I know they have some really great shows, but
But this is actually just their first year of starting original movies.
Well, we'll see.
Is Death Note one of the first ones?
Death Note is one of the first feature-length.
It's one of the first. I'd say it's one of their first 10.
Can you name 2 other ones?
No, I cannot.
No,
because I haven't been looking.
Can.
I haven't been looking. If I looked, then I would.
Well, yeah, if I look, I could look it up.
I don't know. I love what they're doing with like TV shows and when they're partnering with like Marvel and other stuff. But
the thing is the reason that I think they're doing this is the fact that Disney is going to be taking off all of their content next year.
Oh, really? It's going to get rid of all of the Marvel stuff.
Well, the fact is they're not sure about the TV shows.
Well, they got to keep them there. It's a license of Netflix, and they're not. Just
yeah,
gonna
but Marvel, but Disney owns it,
Yeah.
so they're not sure of what it goes with. But Disney is creating their own streaming service in 2019.
Right.
So all the Disney movies that are on there right now, all the like Doctor Strange, Civil War, and then like Rogue One, they will all be gone next year.
At which point I go back to pirating because there's no point to me to subscribe. I'm sorry. There's no point to subscribe to like 50 different streaming services. That's just TV again. If I wanted TV, I
that's
just
what they're
keep
saying.
my cable.
You just keep your cable bill, and then we won't get all these damn streaming services. But like
Or I'll pirate them.
Disney,
Yar har.
Disney is probably going to. They also said they want to do original content as
boy.
well on their streaming
Oh
service.
boy.
So
I'm so excited to see Disney original content.
Well, like it'll be like
all the Marvel.
like
shows,
it'll be
right?
they're gonna
If
they
they
want
were
to introduce
smart.
some more like I heard they're gonna do it like a Teen Titan one specifically.
You mean New Warriors?
Yeah, like
Okay.
like they're gonna
Here's
be
the thing, though.
they're gonna be doing some comic stuff exclusively on their streaming
I
service.
don't
What's the
mind
thing,
if they're
Alec?
doing some comic stuff. But you can't just... Here's the problem with Disney. I mean, I was shocked when they made Rogue One rated R. And even for an R-rated movie, it was pretty tame for an R-rated
Rogue
movie.
One was rated
I thought it was
R?
PG-13.
Or no, it was rated R.
you
Man,
sure?
can you
No.
double check this for me?
Could have sworn it was PG-13.
I don't believe.
I don't think there's ever been an R-rated Star
No,
Wars
I
movie.
think that was the thing. I think they made it an R-rated movie.
No, because it would have been a bigger deal.
Are you thinking of Logan?
Rogue One was PG-13.
Oh, it was PG-13? Maybe I
know Logan was rated R.
Yeah, Logan was a hard.
Well, here's the thing. Then that goes back to my point.
Man, an R-rated Star Wars movie could be so awesome.
Yeah.
Well, like I could see them doing maybe
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
what?
Lightsaber sodomy.
No, that's not what I was thinking.
No one is thinking that. in fact.
That took
But
a weird
here's
turn.
what concerns-
But what I was thinking is there was reports that Disney was trying to get a live action Star Wars show on ABC. That'd be terrible.
Yes. But yeah, they could do it on their streaming service.
They would obviously do it on their
But
streaming
here's what I
service.
don't like. It's like Daredevil, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, all of the Defenders level stuff that they've been doing is good because it deals with harder topics.
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to do with Just Jones if it's a Disney thing? Even if it was PG-13, you can't touch it because just of her backstory and everything that goes on with that. And that's honestly what endeared me to a lot of the Netflix stuff. They weren't afraid to take things. Don't get me wrong, I love a lot of the Marvel movies, and I like how they're sometimes lighthearted and joking around with some of the guys. And I like how they're sometimes serious and have sad moments. But none of them do have like
The Netflix series, they get dark.
They get dark.
Yeah.
And I think that's cool for those types of heroes who do have darker backstories.
It's like
And-
Disney with Star Wars Rebels versus Clone Wars on Cartoon Network.
Agreed.
So Kevin Feige says that there could be a possibility of there being a female Thor movie. Quoted saying, "We always look back at the comics to get those ideas, sometimes very specific storylines. So anything that's happened in the comics, even a female Thor, become great potentials and ideas from which future movies can be born."
Except you kind of wrote Jane Foster out of the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe, so you can't do that. Good try, though, Kevin. That was...
Well, also I also didn't know that he's been touting a Black Widow movie for like 6 years, and that hasn't
Black
happened.
Widow is one thing. Rant incoming. I would like to preface this rant by saying I don't hate the idea of being the female Thor.
I love Natalie Portman.
That being said,
She was not right for the movie.
no, I'm not. This isn't a rant about Portman.
She's
This-
a great actress. Just I don't
not-
think her skill
No,
set-
she's fine. This is my
I
personal
don't
rant
think they
about
wrote
the
her
comic
right.
books. What they did with Thor was probably the worst comic book storyline that's been on for the last, 4 years. What they have done with female Thor and with Jane Foster. And it's ruined a great idea. It's ruined a lot of what they did there. And there's just a lot of things about that storyline that just do not sit well with me. For one thing, here's how it comes about. Nick Fury tells Thor, "You're unworthy." What happens? Instantly becomes unworthy. We don't know why. It's been 5 years, 4.5 years, and we still don't know why when he said those words that happened. So suddenly, Jane Foster gets to pick up the hammer, and that's fine. But then, random stuff happens, and just the writers are just trying to are catering so badly to make, oh, look, we're popular feminist people. Look how good. And it's just awful, cringeworthy stuff. For the next part, for example, there's a villain in there.
Does the villain just tell her to get back in the kitchen? Or does the villain hold a door open for her and then she just loses her shit?
No, here's what happens.
Does Jane Foster save the world just as much, but only receive like 70% of the praise?
No, but like here's what happens. She's like saving the world, and one of the female villains, Thor's female villain, I can't remember her name, but she's like husband, she's like the wife of the Absorbing Man, like knocks out the Absorbing Man and says, I'm not gonna fight you because you're a female Thor and I respect you. Keep in mind, in the very last issue in the major story arc, she literally took down Captain Marvel, she literally fought Medusa, Queen of the Inhumans, and like literally every other major female character that they had. And I was like, are you joking me? Is this where you're doing it? They made a Gamergate reference. It was just some of the most cringe-worthy stuff I have ever read. And then they gave Jane Foster cancer because they decided that was a moral dilemma.
At least they got something right.
And then they decided, And then they decided that Mjolnir, the hammer, wasn't actually a hammer.
Mew?
Yeah, but it was actually a sentient spirit that comes down. I was like, that's it.
Stupid.
I'm done with this. So, like, I'm counting. It's all ending this somehow, some way. Thor gets it. The Odin son, I guess, as they call him, gets the hammer back by the end of this year, but we don't know how yet.
Odin man.
Take me by the hand, let me understand.
So the problem I have, if they did a female Thor for the Marvel movies, is no woman actress could ever live up to Chris Hemsworth's hair. You can't do it.
That's a good point.
You can't replace Hemsworth's luscious golden locks.
You know he cuts it halfway through Ragnarok, yeah?
It's still fantastic. You can't replace that. So
well, maybe like Chris Hemsworth cut it. Maybe they're saving it. And they're going to use it as a wig.
Like a transplant?
He's actually Samson from the Bible.
Yeah, they're going to use it as a wig for female Thor.
And again, I would like to point out, I really like the idea of like having a Jane Foster Thor or doing like a Valkyrie Thor. That would be really cool. I just wish they would write it in a way where they would respect the character and do stuff and don't have to like...
Instead of just catering to people.
Yeah, just like overcompensating for like... Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, but like we've had female superheroes for a while now and they've kicked major ass for a while now. That's why everyone's been shouting for a Black Widow movie since forever. Basically, since Iron Man 2. So, I mean... That's all. I just wish they would.
Mainly because people just want to watch Scarlett Johansson more.
Well, can you blame them?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. Next. Pacific Rim Uprising's director Stephen DeKnight hinted at a possible crossover between Pacific Rim, Godzilla, and King Kong. Speaking in an interview at New York Comic Con a few weeks ago, the filmmaker discussed that this crossover notion has been very much discussed, saying, I won't say that there's an Easter egg, but there's been a lot of discussion that a possibility of crossing over. Look, I think it would be fantastic to have the Pacific Rim universe join Legendary Monsters universe. It seems like a natural step, part of the big overall plan after the third movie we've talked about is that it could happen. It's always a possibility. It's by far not a certainty. It's merely theoretical at this point, but as a fan of myself, I would love to see that happen.
I hope your movie crashes and burns.
So they are jumping every shark that is currently in existence, and then they went and found Megalodon genes, resurrected that from extinction, and jumped the shit out of that one 5 more times.
At this point, they're just jumping a Sharknado.
I mean, come on.
Really?
I mean, how many times...
And that's tough, because tornadoes are tall, especially a Sharknado.
Why do we always have to be Godzilla and King Kong? Why can't we do, like, anything else? What was that one movie that came out a little bit ago that was, like, the big monster movie? It was, like, filmed on, like, 9-reel.
Shrek the Third? Cloverfield.
Cloverfield, thank you. That was a good monster movie. Because it was something new that we hadn't done. I don't mind Godzilla. I don't mind King Kong. I'm tired of them punching the shit out of each other.
Wasn't John Goodman in the second one?
I believe he was.
Yeah. And there is a third one.
Goodman.
There is a third one in the works, too.
Yeah. Didn't Samuel L. Jackson get killed in about 5 seconds in the second one?
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Okay, so you just spoiled it for me. Thanks.
Did you see the second one?
I saw part of it.
Oh, that doesn't count. But I think Pacific Rim would fit. In the fact I haven't seen the first one. That's the one with
giant robots, right?
Yes.
Do I really need to?
You already have Mechagodzilla in that universe, right?
Well, I don't know. Did they? Well, have they? Because it's that rebooted movie that came out with Bryan Cranston.
Gojira!
So, like, I don't know if I didn't see it, so I don't know.
I don't.
Whatever.
I mean, it would fit. I think that they would fit together in the way that like Lunchables would pair well with a kid cuisine. Like, it's terrible for you, and you're too old for that shit.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. That was an interesting analogy. But
I couldn't care less about Godzilla.
All right. So in a report from Manabyte, and then later confirmed by theater chains AMC and Regal, the runtime for Justice League has been revealed, coming in at just 121 minutes, making it the shortest film in the DCEU. And shorter than any of the other films.
Oh, that's going to be so watchable.
Batman vs. Superman
Maybe.
or Suicide Squad. Because Batman vs. Superman was like 150 minutes.
How are they going to do this? This movie is... I'm so interested to see what's going on with Justice League.
So,
I can't
do you wish it was like 150 minutes?
Here's the issue that I hear
Because it's basically 2 hours and 1 minute.
Here's the thing, guys.
I'm sorry, okay?
Here's
I
what
have
bugs
verbal
me.
take. Thanks, guys, for making fun of my verbal takes.
I love
How
the
are
Here's
you
What
going...
Bugs Me segment.
I like the length. I don't know
That's
how...
what she said.
I just am curious to see how they're going to fit, because at this point...
Still what she said.
But they only have... They have revealed 2 characters so far. Batman and Wonder Woman. I'm not counting the Flash who appears for like 1 second in Suicide Squad. How are you going to fit in 4 other characters, plus bring back Superman, plus make Darkseid a believable villain?
Well, I mean, do you know that Superman's in the movie?
Yes.
Okay.
I would be impressed if they did not use Superman in the movie. But, come on. Yeah, they're going to have Superman in the movie.
Okay.
I still need the Flash to be Grant Gustin because of CW Flash. But
So I'm very interested, I guess, to see that, for such a big one. I'm very interested to see how they're going to fit everything into 2 hours. I mean, if it works, it will be a great watchable film, but I'm kind of still leaning to the fact that I think it's going to crash and burn rather hard.
It's predicted to make 140 million, I think.
Yeah, well, it'll make a
opening
shit
weekend.
ton of money. Hype movies always make a ton of money, but it's how they're remembered.
It comes out 2 weeks after Ragnarok, so it
Yeah.
comes out in 2 weeks.
Well, we'll have to go see it as a podcast crew and make our own decisions.
It will be the first DC movie I've seen.
Well, one, you should go watch Wonder Woman, because that is...
Oh wait, second. Sorry, forgot
Okay.
about Wonder Woman.
Oh, then you're fine.
All right. So THR reports that Platinum Dunes, Andrew Form, and Brad Fuller, along with Michael Bay, have enlisted the Puppets and Neighbors director Nick Stroller to write a live-action adaptation of Dora the Explorer, which is said to center on Dora not as a 7-year-old, but now as a teenager when she moves to the city to live with her cousin Diego. Like, why? Like, honestly,
What
why?
is she gonna
I
explore?
don't want to live in this planet.
It's gonna be
anymore.
like Hey Arnold, but with Dora the Explorer.
Like, I understand Dora the Explorer is popular.
Wait, is this live action or? Is
Yeah, it's gonna be a live action
Can
movie.
you tell me
it's
where
Michael
the drug
Bay.
dealers are hiding their drunks?
Well, the fact is,
Click on the
at first I thought Michael Bay was directing it. He's just producing it. So
oh, yes,
Wait,
that
wait.
makes it so much
Are we,
better.
this sounds like satire.
No, this is a
no,
legit
this is
story.
real. This is real.
It
He-
sounds
like the Hollywood Reporter is producing it. That it's full on Steam for whatever reason. All of a sudden they wanted this
all right.
project.
I mean,
I don't want to live in this planet anymore.
I do. I don't want to live on a planet where somebody can't make a Dora the Explorer live action movie where she's a teenager in the city if they want to.
It's a good point.
Is Boots still alive, or did he die too? Because
That's literally all the
Monkey's
report
don't live
says.
I
that-
need Bradley Cooper to be
Yeah.
Swiper. Just
The fact
okay,
that
honestly, if Bradley Cooper was Swiper, I'd go see the movie out of principle. Just to be honest.
and there has to be a ton of explosions since Michael Bay.
Also, if they gave Swiper a gun and turned him into a sniper.
Sniper the Fox.
yeah.
So
that
you guys saw that movie? Did you guys ever hear that movie Geostorm?
I
No,
heard of it.
I've
Yeah.
seen,
Heard of it?
I've
Yeah, I've
seen
seen
the
commercials.
So, okay, so nearly 20 months after Geostorm was scheduled for release, the movie debuted in weekends, and after less than stellar reviews in box office, the Wrap reports the $120 million budgeted movie. Jesus. Which also included nearly $15 million in expensive reshoots. Why would you reshoot this movie? Bombed by only taking in $14.7 million domestic, and it could lose up to $100 million.
So is this just day after tomorrow, except someone's controlling the weather instead of like random big ass hurricane?
Technically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
Okay.
basically. Basically what happens is that in the future, natural disasters are destroying the world, so they create this
satellite
to
system.
protect us, and then someone gets a hold of said satellite
And then
and
is
tries
able
to
to
destroy the
manipulate
world.
the weather, yeah.
And then it stars Gerard Butler being the scientist that has to save the world.
Everybody wants
Is it like Bill Nye Saves the World?
I guess.
Okay.
Konami announced that they're making a Contra movie
Fuck you, Konami.
and TV show.
That's all I wanted to hear. Keep moving. We're not giving Konami any time of day right here. Screw
fine.
you, Konami. Screw you.
I don't care. I
For
just
what you
find it
did to
funny.
Hideo Kojima, your company shouldn't exist anymore.
I know, right?
You rat bastards.
All right, so Legendary Pictures is rumored to have a few stars in mind for the main role of Detective Pikachu, because I guess they're making this. And according to that hashtag show, Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds, Mark Wahlberg, and Dwayne Johnson are all allegedly among the studio's top choices to voice the character.
The
Give
voicing
me
Pikachu.
Ryan Reynolds.
Give me Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu.
Actually, give me Danny DeVito. Because somebody made a YouTube video where they like voice over Danny DeVito, Frank Reynolds lines onto Detective Pikachu in that original trailer, and it is so funny.
Yeah, so Detective Pikachu will be directed by Rob Letterman, who directed...
This is a Pokemon thing, right?
yeah.
Okay.
So Detective Pikachu is a spin-off.
Of Officer Pikachu. He gets promoted, and yeah, it's crazy.
It's just
You
a
gotta watch it
random-
first. He loses his badge, but then comes back to the Force, and they...
I actually don't know what the
Because
game is
this could
about.
actually be a thing.
No, it's not.
I know.
It's just a spin-off that has him playing detective. I don't know.
Okay.
But anyway, it's being directed.
Boy, I bet Pete is going to have a real fun time with this movie.
by Rob Letterman, and he directed Goosebumps, Shark Tale, Marvel, Monsters vs. Aliens, with Marvel screenwriter Nicole Perman and Gravity Falls creator Alex Hirsch writing the screenplay.
Oh, wait, is Hirsch writing the screenplay?
Yes.
Do it, because that means that Justin Roiland's going to get a role at some point in here.
Okay.
Probably end up being like Meowth or like a really annoying Weedle. This is unacceptable!
Morty is Meowth.
Gee, James.
Oh, jeez, Pikachu. Oh, jeez. Sony acquires Funimation Pictures.
You know, I was looking this up before on Funimation, and I saw that they were already producing their first original new series from them, and it's called The Rich Fact of the Week.
Rich fact of the week. The rich fact of the week. Which fact of the week?
It is the Rich Fact of the Week, and today's Rich Fact of the Week, talking about Funimation. Rich actually has a long history in voice acting. You may have seen him do some work in the Furby movie, also in Gremlins 4.
There was a Furby movie?
And also
play dumb.
along with doing long-rated anime high school love romances, in which he plays all 5 parts simultaneously.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
That's your Rich Fact of the Week for this week.
Very cool, very cool. I think
Wow.
the listeners are starting to get like a very good picture of who Rich is as a person. That's really the goal of this podcast. Like everything else is fluff. We're really just in it for the facts. Like we want to get to know who is rich.
Travis Kelce.
And like we'd all rather be rich, but like we gotta tell other people why and let them know why they should also prefer to be rich.
Indeed, I agree.
EA announced that Visceral Game Studios has closed.
Oh yeah,
And that
Fuck
Amy Hennig's single-player Star Wars game will be refocused into a multiplayer game, aka Star Wars Destiny.
and loot boxes. Woo. Hey,
Yeah, and
don't
it will
bring
be-
Destiny into this. Destiny is a perfectly fine video
Yeah,
game.
but we don't need another one.
Fair enough.
And also it will be moved to EA Vancouver, which I'm also kind of concerned about.
Can we just destroy EA?
Yeah, that game's gonna die.
EA
Yeah.
Vancouver is known for the FIFA and NHL games.
Yes. Also, EA hasn't come up with. EA just murders people with single player video games. I'm sorry. Good single player video games are so rare to find nowadays.
Well,
Yeah.
I tend to disagree.
What would you say the best single player games that's come out recently?
This year?
Yeah.
Breath of the
Assassin's
Wild?
Creed, Breath of the Wild,
Okay. fair enough.
Prey, Dishonored.
I want to see New Wolfenstein because I'm gonna assume it's awesome, even though I haven't played
Yeah,
it yet.
Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein is always going to be good. Okay, fair enough. I mean, there's some. good-
Bethesda is making single player.
Sorry,
games.
I should have been more specific. I don't think EA has had a single player title.
No, EA is not really. EA is getting away from it. It's Bethesda, really.
Yeah,
It's Bethesda and, to an extent, Ubisoft, because, yes, all their games are, like, Destiny-ish, but you can play them all by yourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can play The Division by yourself. You can play...
Don't know why you'd want to. I've tried it. It's a grind.
I found it fun. It's basically an RPG.
To be fair, I also played Division during the first part of the game where, I'm putting 500 bullets into this enemy and I've taken off this much of his armor.
That's when I played Division the most. I still had fun with it even so.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and also, like, Wildlands.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Wildlands.
It's fun as a co-op game, but you can still play with AI.
And with all that being said, I think it's time for our Dick Picks of the Week.
I might have picked this already, but it deserves it twice. Because I'm talking about frosted animal crackers.
Ooh. Yeah, this is a new pick.
I picked up a teddy bear container full of frosted animal crackers.
Those things are almost gone already.
At my local Target, yeah.
We have devoured a good chunk of them.
And I forgot how incredible they tasted. And then when I went to the Bills game last week, I brought a bunch, and they were the life of the party.
Those were so good.
And then
they were super tasty.
They're almost gone. I need another bearful. So that's my pick of the week.
I'm gonna give a shout out to let's see, in the spirit of the season, I think I'm gonna give a shout out to just warm, fluffy winter jackets. Because if you're going trick or treating tomorrow, you're gonna need a warm winter jacket to keep you safe from all the rain and the snow. I would also like to thank my my super guard protector that I recently got for my Toyota Corolla. You should go get them. They have them done at most of the chances, and when you get it done, you never have to wax your car again for the rest of your life. Or its life, I suppose. So, yeah, let's do it with some weather-related ones for me.
I guess I can, I'll pick a video game.
Sure. Okay, do
my
it.
My pick of the week will be Stellaris. It's an RTS strategy game in space. I've had it, people describe it to me as Civilization, Sid Meier's Civ in space.
That's pretty tempting.
I'm terrible at it. I haven't played an RTS in years, but
I love RTSs.
My
RTSs are
one
great.
gaming group I'm in with a bunch of friends, we have a weekly Stellaris campaign night every Thursday from 7 to 10 p.m.
Yep, that's correct.
And
because I get the messages about it all the time.
Yeah, I do stream it, but it's just
on Twitch?
Yeah, it's fun. We just hang out and we.
You should tell everyone on the podcast your Twitch handle. So
yeah, my Twitch handle wildcard716. I stream stuff once in a while, but yeah, no, it's been a fun game. I'm terrible at it. I'm bad to the point where the AI players are giving me free stuff because they feel bad for me.
Ooh.
But that's where you want to be, right?
Yeah, I'm getting free handouts. I'm like,
yeah, that's true.
I'm like those lazy liberals. But
yeah,
it's just been fun. It's a good group experience. The gameplay is very well done. It gets very deep. You can do a lot of stuff and conquer a galaxy, which I probably won't be doing anytime soon. I'm just kind of being Switzerland right now and staying true neutral and working on myself.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Stellaris. Good game. If you can ever find it on sale for like $20 or under, I highly recommend picking it up.
Okay. And playing it too, or should I just pick it up?
No, just pick it up and that's it.
Add it to your Steam library.
Yep, and just look at it for a while.
That's what I do with all the other games.
Me too.
True. My pick of the week is the Super SNES Classic.
Ooh, good pick.
I picked one up recently. It's $80 and it has some of the best Super Nintendo games that I never played because I was too young, but it has just a great variety of platformers, RPGs. The only thing I wish that was on there would be Chrono Trigger, but I have a DS version of it, so it's okay. But like that was the big one that everyone wished that was on there. But there for $80 you get 20 games, 2 controllers. I think the length is only 5 feet, the controller to the thing, so I wish it was a little longer.
That's what she said.
Jesus. But just picking this up for $80 is easily hundreds and hundreds of hours.
That's all I got.
All right.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us for episode 9 of the I'd Rather Be Rich podcast.
Yeah.
We've almost hit double digits. That's pretty crazy.
We'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Next time.
Okay.